We wouldn't suffer if you have a long term perspective in mind that, like, whatever I'll do, it would help me find myself. While these people would stay here for the next 40 to 50 years doing the same thing over and over and over again. A thumb rule would be to avoid all those kinds of people in life who are just short sighted and feel comfortable with their redundant lives. We must not bash them, but still not let them get closer to us. Yo, guys, namaskaram. So, today I wanted to talk about framework to deal with immediate pain in life. So, I think we are fundamentally creatures who are ruled by our evolutionary DNA and also like our animalistic tendencies. This makes us react super violently to situations around us. So, you might have seen that many people who lose large sums of money in the share market usually have a short term thinking in mindset. They want the outcome, that is, a particular event, to be in favor of their short term needs. What they miss out is that such events, like such fortunes where you make, like, large term fortunes, are largely due to the impact of a large number of processes that have been functioning in the hindsight for decades. So this is a superpower which can really help you to steer through compulsive shopping, like people passing rude remarks that don't come out of love, and a hell lot of other things which are pretty painful in the short term. That superpower is writing down a vision for yourself and committing to it. So instead of begrudging your life by saying, "Oh, what can I do?" always see the value you have provided to other people, and you would. Consider your own life as a company. You need all sorts of people there. Your should be the mindset that you should provide your customers, the people who come to your daily life, with the highest value. Whenever you have a problem, you do consult a board of directors, don't you? So, like, make a board of directors for your own self. These could be living people or dead people who have been very revolutionary in their thinking, or let's say the masters of their specific field. You don't have to necessarily live and breathe the same thoughts as the stupid people around you. So I think fundamentally what also happens is that, like, we want to elevate our lifestyles, or let's say we are in that pursuit of keeping our lifestyles elevated to show from the outside that how wealthy we are, which makes us a slave to that particular lifestyle. In this day and age, instant gratification and immediate pleasures are the things that we crave for. I think replacing these two things with delayed gratification and delayed pleasure helps us to go miles apart to fulfill our potential. So I've always advocated the idea of having an internal locus of control instead of an external locus of control. This means that, like, instead of giving other people power, the public, the power to comment on your being, you have the control in your own hands. So how do you do that? Answer, of course, requires some work on your end, but trust me, like, this would be the most important thing that you would do for yourself. So, like, to write down a vision per se, like, head out to any online tool that lets you write. It could be Google Docs, Notion, Dropbox, or whatever, or maybe your own email for that matter. Maybe you can start by writing out in detail who you want to be. Like, if that is something that is far too complicated, try writing out an anti vision, things that you despicably hate in your life, and examples of real life people that you see around whom you don't want to become. The problem is, like, when you observe them for some moments in your life, you then move on, completely forgetting them in the process. I think we want to make that forgetting less often and see it very visually in front of our own eyes. So try making a list of the qualities that you absolutely do not want to have and write them down in a simple structure. Maybe the next step could be to write down the type of life you do not want to lead. It could be related to your professional goals, or let's say your personal goals, or maybe just life in general. The goal is not to be held rigid, since life also has a way of, like, teaching us so many things that we consider wrong at one point of time and maybe right at the other instant. The aim is to move towards something, or to put it another way, like, move away from something that we don't want to manifest in our own life. Like, there are two fundamental reasons as to why you should write it. One is that it kind of feels personal to you, and you also feel a sense of commitment to your own life, since you are taking control of your mind for the first time in life. Often in life, we get drifted away by our current needs because I think we don't know where we want to go or whom we want to become. The most immediate things in our environment try to take our mental bandwidth and then grill our mental health like crazy. So, you might have seen that people become super zealous for a certain cause in life because I think for the first time they kind of feel dedicated to something, to a cause specifically, and they feel that, like, this should be something that they can invest their life into. That comes genuinely from their being. So I think they genuinely feel at peace from doing that thing. The goal is not to chase happiness like a junkie, but to chase peace of mind. Peace can always be converted into happiness, but it can never be done the other way. Consider it like climbing a mountain. So when you are at the bottom, all you see are the trees around you, the people with you climbing that, the excruciating pain you might feel in your legs, and, like, you're grasping for breath. But once you kind of reach to the top of the mountain, the whole journey seems worth it. Every curve and road comes into its proper context because you have enlarged your perspective. What pushes, I think, mountain climbers to climb is the view that they would get from the above, and also the joy of having accomplished that challenge by keeping their long term goal instead of their short term pain. So, consider your own vision as the top of the mountain. It would help you to not be impacted by the immediate environment because you would already have a guiding metric in your life. Let us say a higher purpose to which we want to dedicate our lives to, or maybe a filthy purpose from which we want to run away from. Of course, it's hard when we are young, but I think the spirit should be just to simply explore the things that spark your curiosity. We wouldn't suffer if you have a long term perspective in mind that, like, whatever I'll do, it would help me find myself, while these people would stay here for the next 40 to 50 years doing the same thing over and over and over again. A thumb rule would be to avoid all those kinds of people in life who are just short sighted and feel comfortable with their redundant lives. We must not bash them, but still not let them get closer to us. They are the people who would not do anything significant in their lives, but they would also try to bring others down to their level. So, like, when you talk to most people about their future dreams, they are mostly vague and have dreams which kind of nullify the pains of today. Like, they are not very concrete in their visions, let's say, where they want to go, right? I partly do not blame them because, like, there's not enough education around that space as well. We are constantly being bombarded with a lot of, like, immediate marketing campaigns and a lot of things. So we mostly think, I think, from a place only by being troubled in it by the present, and make relevant actions without even deeply thinking about the consequences it would ensure, because we haven't thought about the context. So I think in today's world, information is kind of quite freely available to you with a single click, and we believe that people have done their due diligence in researching that thing deeply. However, that is not the case. You know it, right? They are mostly lazy with low attention spans, which leads them to make decisions to feel good in the short run. The aim is to think deeply about the negative consequences and ensure which pain you can suffer in the long term. Another thumb rule would be detaching yourself from useless corporate battles wherein you just want to win for the sake of your ego. Winning a useless argument against a useless person, no matter how high he is in the hierarchy, is of no value. You know your long term goal and where you want to go. Like, in the corporate world, there are a lot of incompetent people because they have just been doing the same thing repeatedly for like 10 to 15 years, with not focusing on the development of their emotional, spiritual, and other factors in life. Let them be happy where they are. You need to move forward and to greater heights. Like, win through your actions, not through your words. Make your values and your priorities in life the utmost guiding metric for every decision you take in your life. Become like a long term strategist in life who is always thinking of strategies to win in life, instead of, like, being a mere person who relies on being a jugadu, a makeshifter. Like, don't be that. Don't focus on trivial information. Try to follow the 80-20 rule. That means that, narrowing down the 20% effort that would lead to 80% of your growth in that specific thing. Also, don't focus on optimizing every bloody thing that now you're stuck in this rut. Oh, I'll follow the 80-20, 80-20. Sometimes getting things done is the most important thing. The most important thing is to make the call to action for yourself very easy, and it helps you to get started, and then slowly and steadily building your patience in the process towards, let's say, bigger challenges in the process. So, just to end this video, I would like to leave you with this thought, like that all the problems which seem hard right now would hardly matter after 3 months, or let's say 6 months down the lane when you have moved on in life. They would make you realize, like, let's say, if you're seeing from that context, from your future self, that how stupid and, unnecessarily you were fighting for useless battles, and how stupid you were. I think we need to live life from the awareness from our future selves, and, just bring that awareness. Okay, what would our future self think of doing right now at this specific second or this specific moment? So yeah, that's a small video I wanted to do, and let me know what you feel about it. How would you incorporate this into your own life? Until then, this is Debashish Pindra from Debukidastak signing off. Cheers.